Hey everybody, we're back working on the Porsche today. So, got everything put together on the bottom end, the heads, etc. So, figured I'm pretty happy with how all that turned out. I was going to test fit some of the sheet metal. So I put the fan shroud back on, just set it on there, and I was working on cleaning up some of the sheet metal. I thought I'll just check one more thing. I don't know what made me think about it, but I was just reading in the books and thinking of all the other screwed up stuff with this engine. And I thought, while I'd gone this far and I'd been cranking the engine over and turning it by hand, that maybe I should check the crankshaft end play. So I've got a dial indicator out and with a arm and set it up on the end of the crankshaft. And so I zeroed the indicator. I'm supposed to use a pry bar, but actually you can just push it. And if you can use a pry bar on the pulley end and tug on it a little bit. But looks like 18 thousandths of an inch, and you can tug it back to 0.015, okay, or 0.018, which seems a little bit excessive. I'm no expert at this, but I decided, well, let me look in the book. So the book tells me, back off, that we are supposed to be 0.0055 to 0.0067, or 5.5 to 6.5 thousandths. So we have way more than that. So kind of a little conundrum here, going that far, going this far, and found all this other stuff screwed up. Now when I did this engine back in the 80s, everything mic'd okay. I had a friend of the family help me. Everything checked all right. We plastic gauged it and everything measured okay. I put all new standard bearings in it, but I don't know that I ever went through. I know I never went through this process. So never did set the end play. So I'm gonna pull the flywheel off here, and there's a shim behind there. There's several variations of shims. You can add shims, stack them up to set that end play. So the end play should be about right there. So that's what we should have. We have that. So wasn't planning on going into the bottom end of this, but what I'm going to do is the shims live behind the flywheel. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the clutch off, pull the flywheel off, if I can get it off. That thing's torqued to like 400 foot-pounds, and see what the shim is, and see if one's available, and look at the back of the crank, and maybe taking the rest of this engine apart. I'll bring you back in a minute. Alright, so I got the clutch off, cleared some of that stuff out of the way. Took this 36mm nut off after I found my 36mm socket, which ironically I bought it just for that purpose in like 1985. So let's see if we can get this flywheel off there. And that was probably the last time it was off. Thought you might like to see it. See the big discovery. Alright, there we go. There's the flywheel. Now, this shim. Oh, there's this little lead gasket behind there, and these are the shims that set the end play. Combination of. So I'm gonna figure out how to get those out of there and see how thick they are.